Hey guys, I'm Matt. Welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. We want to do a cultivar highlight. We're here in the Cox Arboretum. We're guests of Tom Cox today. We're enjoying this amazing conifer collection, but we couldn't help but get this amazing Seiryu on camera and show this to you. It's in great fall color and it is a gorgeous specimen.
We're in Canton, Georgia in late October, and this thing is really lighting up the landscape here with some really good fall color. We love Seiryu because it's such a great tree for the landscape. It's a very true lace leaf Japanese maple that is an upright Japanese maple. Makes an excellent specimen out here in the landscape.
One thing our customers love about this one is it's a great tree for that speed of growth. You know, oftentimes people will say, I love a Japanese maple. I believe Steve Bender even said, by the time that one's 4 feet, I'll be 6 feet under. He kind of joked about that with a tree. Well, that's not the case with Seiryu. Seiryu grows over 1 foot to 1.5 feet of growth a year. So this is one of the most vigorous Japanese maples. It's going to give you a very large specimen in the garden very quickly. Now this tree leaves out in the spring a lush green, fading to a more emeraldy green midsummer. And as you can see, the fall colors are exquisitely red.
And Matt, you're so right. J.D. Vertrees, at the time of writing his first and second edition books of Japanese maples, said this was perhaps one of the fastest growing Japanese maples that he had witnessed. And it really is. It makes a good specimen out in the landscape. Goes through some really good color changes like Matt talked about. And I remember seeing this in fall color at some temples in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see many Japanese maple cultivars used in temples in Japan, but this was definitely one of them that stood out, that we were like, there's Seiryu. And it had phenomenal fall color, and they were using it near water features at temples in Japan. So it was kind of cool to see people using that. Such an amazing plant. This is a plant that was imported in the United States by Wada Nursery to the National Arboretum in the 1970s. And it became very popular in America instantly because it's a lace leaf Japanese maple. So it's a selection from Japan, brought to the United States in the 1970s. And then this plant just hit like a skyrocket everywhere because it's so unique and different. There's not many other lace leaves that are uprights, at least not that are commonly available in the nursery trade. And this one is an outstanding performer. It's very heat tolerant. It's one of the most heat tolerant maples we do. And it's a plant that grows so well out there in the landscape and garden. Because
of its vigor and heat tolerance, this makes a great plant for many in the South to shade out their smaller Japanese maples. It's one that's going to get out there a little bit quicker. It's going to provide a lot of shade. Now, one thing about Seiryu is in that sun garden, it's going to be more of a chartreuse screen. As a tree matures, you'll see it shade out some of that older growth, and that's why it gets the name. Seiryu actually means blue-green dragons, and you get some older growth on this. It starts to get shaded out by some shade. You can get some of those emeraldy blue colors in there, especially in that midsummer garden. It is an exceptional tree for speed of growth, and it makes a specimen really quickly in the landscape. I mean, this one, you know, over 1.5 feet of growth a year is not uncommon with Seiryu.
I love what Tom did here. He paired two plants together that break the mold of what you think of with Japanese maples. He put a Jiro Shidari, which is a palmate weeper, right here. So it's got that palmate leaf, not a lace leaf, and it's weeping.
So the opposite of what you normally think of with a palmate style leaf.
And then he paired it with a lace leaf upright. And so you've got this contrasting textures and styles that's exact opposite of what people normally think of when they think about Japanese maple. They think of an upright Japanese maple, you're thinking of a palmate leaf. You think of a weeper, you're thinking of something that's a lace leaf. And here he paired those two. There's so many fun ways to pair this out in the garden and landscape. Pairing something with like an English lace would be a fantastic.
Yeah.
Where you get something that's a little more upright.
Another upright one that has that red form, not quite with the vigor of Seiryu though. It's going to be a smaller form overall. Seiryu is one of the very fastest growing upright trees we do. Now, we actually believe this to be Acer palmatum subspecies palmatum. One of the reasons we've come to this conclusion is because of the small seeds that this has. The samaras are very small and indicative of that of a small leaf green, what we use for understocks, Acer palmatum subspecies palmatum. Now, that may be one of the clues to why this one is so vigorous, heat tolerant, and really gets out there in the landscape.
And some people actually root this, which is very difficult to do with subspecies Matsumuri.
Yeah, you rarely see lace leaves be able to root.
But this is one that can do that, and that's probably because of its palmatum influence. That smaller seed, the leaf is even a little smaller than something like a Tamukiyama, which makes you realize that this may be actually a lace leaf palmatum rather than a lace leaf Matsumuri. super geeky, but if you're into that kind of thing, which most of y'all are, so if you follow the Mr. Maple Show.
If you're watching this many maple videos, you'll got to get some geeky stuff, guys. Plant geek out with us. We love talking about specimen-sized trees. Whenever possible, we love to get massive specimens on camera for you, and we couldn't pass by this one here at the Cox Arboretum without getting a focus on it. We love showing you what these things can reach. You know, we never say a mature height for trees because they'll outlive us all. A 100-year-old tree, Japanese maple should live to be well over 100 years old, so a 100-year-old tree could be even quite a bit larger than this one. But we love getting some mature specimens on here and giving you an idea of what your tree can turn into long term.
We love showing y'all mature specimens out in the landscape. Plants like this that are just outstanding, show you what they can do in your garden. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing this large specimen out here today. I know I have, and we really wanted to share this with you. We know we've done another video before on Seiryu. You can go check out that video as well. But this one here, just an outstanding specimen. We had to do an update on this video.
Hey, definitely like, subscribe, and share. It's one small click for you. Goes a long way for our channel. If you like gardening content, we put out daily gardening content here on the Mr. Maple Show. Heck, a lot of it's even about Japanese maples. I don't know who else is bringing you daily Japanese maple content right here on the Mr. Maple Show. Find us on all of our major podcast platforms. While we're here in the Tom Cox Arboretum, we're actually going to be doing a podcast with the legendary plantsman Tom Cox. So definitely check that out on our podcast platform. And thanks so much for sticking around for the full video here on Seiryu.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.